25/8 is in the business of time. We help leaders of small and medium-sized businesses work smarter, not harder, so they feel like they have an extra hour in the day and day in the week. Go from don't know what I don't know to I can't miss this show, as we talk proven strategies, practical tips and insider insights from a diverse range of industry leaders. Make time to grow your capabilities and confidence with 25/8. A story is a narrative that explains the why behind an organization or an individual's existence beyond financial gain. It serves to connect with audiences, inspire employees, attract investors, and foster a shared sense of mission and identity. These stories are fact-driven and focus on a higher goal to build genuine connections and motivate action. Purpose stories are important because they help attract and retain talent, people to work in your business, foster partnerships, and engage customers who want to support brands that align with their values. But also for you as an individual, telling your own story can provide direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose in your life, in your career. And for teams within a business, it provides a rallying point, especially during times of change or adversity, helping the team to push forward together. I recently talked about purpose story and sharing yours so that others can understand what it is that you do and why you do it. And I thought I'd share with you our why this week and go into a bit more detail on what I've shared with you before, why we're so passionate about small and medium-sized businesses. And for me, it's because they're the backbone of economies, and we need them to succeed because it greatly impacts our society. They're the biggest employer in the world, but often the leaders of those businesses are stuck not knowing what to do next to grow their business, or making a decision that may lead to the business failing. Often those that start the business don't have any formal business education, or what they do have may not be applicable to what's happening in today's market, especially with the rate of technological advancement. And high quality business education isn't cheap, with even the cheapest MBA costing in the tens of thousands, and free education doesn't really build the skills and confidence that you need, and it's often forgotten. And the same goes for quality business coaching. Those that have the expertise to guide these small business leaders through the complexities of changing markets aren't cheap. And cheaper coaches don't always have the credentials or the experience to make a real difference. So our vision is that we can help small business thrive. They're successful. They support the thriving communities around them, and we've got choice. We can find things where people are passionate about what they've built, and we want to use our superpowers in impactful education with our experience, our extensive experience growing businesses and supporting small and medium-sized businesses through coaching and mentoring to give them the best chance to succeed. We want to maximize the time for leaders so that they can achieve more with less. It's not about hustle or burning out. It's really about working smarter, not harder. It's really thinking about the person behind the business too, their confidence and their strategic and digital capabilities. And we want to help increase those so that we can help drive the growth for their business in a competitive and evolving market. And growth can mean different things to different people. And there's nothing wrong with growing slowly or growing on your terms, but it's stopping them from standing still or from the business not surviving. And so we do this by helping them refine their critical thinking skills, get really super clear on exactly what they need to focus on and to help get their business to the next stage, to build their strategic leadership knowledge, through education, quality MBA accredited education, but accessible, micro, engaging, really focused on context rather than just content, immediately applicable so that they get immediate results, and combine that then with coaching and mentoring to help them get the best outcomes, provide them inspiration, change mindsets, and facilitate connections. And this bonus side of this is that given that we often work in local communities or even within our own online community, they have the opportunity to connect with other like-minded business owners. And then we facilitate mastermind style group sessions, and so that you learn from each other and you build your connections. Our vision, our North Star metric is that by 2030, we'll have ensured a minimum of 20 million business leaders have built their confidence and strategic capabilities to lead a high-performing, digitally enabled business on their terms, such that it provides decent work and economic development for them and the people around them. And our mission is to increase the success rate and empower the leaders with the smarts, the tools, and the support to thrive now and in the future. And we measure this through the increase in skills and the confidence to apply them. And because they're the backbone of economies, it's really important that they are supported. But small and medium-sized businesses have a much lower success rate than larger businesses who have a lot of resources and the luxury of time. And so they face greater hardships in extreme market conditions. They're less likely to have a growth and marketing, a digital strategy, or have adopted digital transformations because they don't have time or the resources or perhaps the confidence or knowledge to do so. So by building their confidence and their capabilities, their knowledge and skills to develop effective strategies in growth, in marketing and digital, and use cutting edge practices that up to date, so we're agile, we're not governed by certain curricula or qualifications, which means we can react quickly to what's needed right now. It means that we can get them the skills that they need for their business in this market, what's going to help them right now. And that increases their revenue. It increases the time that they have, often increases jobs within the business, but most often it's the longevity of the business. And for them as individuals, they've developed these future of work skills like critical thinking, the human side of things, that are really going to help them not only in their business, but in life into the future. And that has a knock-on effect on the community as well. And so we measure this. It's really important for us to know that this is working, and we obsess over this, so that we're so obsessed with ensuring that people have the skills, the confidence that they need, that we focus on benchmarking that at the start and assessing it at the end to show the movement for them, the increase for them. We aim for 100% in every program. 100% of the people, the learners that actively participate in our programs, achieve at least one new skill. We've moved the needle for them at least in one area most of the time, and certainly for those that go all in and complete all modules and all topics, we can do that 600, 700% for individuals. And one of the biggest challenges when we work with partners to deliver programs, and these are often subsidized, so free for small business, and everyone knows that you sign up for something free, then your commitment levels are a bit lower than normal. So it's been our mission to ensure that we get high completion rates for these free programs, because we know if they complete it, they finish with a meaningful outcome, and that gives them the clarity and the confidence and the skills to move forward. And so we work really hard to get those completion rates up. And we average above 80% for free courses that on average worldwide standards are about 10%. So 80% for us is our gold measure to make sure that everyone can do that, can get that meaningful outcome, not just skills that can complete something, leave with that meaningful outcome, that what they're working for. It might be a growth strategy or a digital strategy or marketing strategy, whatever that might be, or a plan. We've helped them achieve that. And our unique assessment allows us to pinpoint really the sweet spot for people. So we help understand where they're at now and where they need to get to. And it allows them to develop this self-efficacy, the confidence to action. And then because they've actioned it whilst being supported and they're getting results, this further builds confidence and they continue to learn. And so not only does this help within the program, but this helps them really get into this growth mindset that then changes the way that they think about themselves and business and learning and how they deal with things, challenges and things like that, and how they learn from those as well. So those are the measurements that we have within a program. But for the business, the real measurement of the success is that they have created a decent work in economic development for them. And so the North Star metric for us is the increase in capabilities and confidence, but we further measure or benchmark the traditional measures in business, so revenue and time, jobs created then at the end, and how much time they're now spending in the business versus on the business, revenue, sales. So some of those traditional metrics, but we also consider the leadership qualities and the human side of things and how they feel about themselves, their business, digital, and so forth, and measure those, benchmark them at the start and measure those at the end, and then 6 months and 12 months post the program as well, so that we can start to see the long-term impact of what we're doing. And so it's not just within the period of a program, which generally tends to be 8 or 12 weeks or 2 versions of those, and we can see what impact it has. And I love those check-ins, because when you hear and you see the results of them applying what they've learned and that newfound confidence and what that means for them now, often they've won a business award or international deals, or they've expanded their business. And so the results are incredible. But the other side of things for me is then their likelihood to become to mentor others. They're confident in their abilities as a business leader, that they're willing to give back. And so we invite those that have completed a 25-8 program to be industry mentors, so that we can connect them with those on future programs and that they can learn from them as well. And so this idea that they're supporting others, and we're really strengthening the small business ecosystem across the country, and that mentoring and mentee further builds confidence for both sides of the business. So we also see that as a knock-on effect to their continued success, but increased network, partnerships and connections. And so that's our purpose, that's our why, and our how is all about facilitating those real world adaptable problem solving skills for the owners, the leaders of small and medium sized businesses. And so we kind of say it's a new era of business school, but we're not a school in the traditional sense. We get referred to as courses. We call them programs because it has a combination of things to ensure the success. It combines education, a sort of course-like structure, but it also has the coaching, and it also has mentoring, and it has this online facilitation as well. But the course itself isn't focused on knowledge acquisition. There is a bit of that. it's on skill acquisition and context building, and in a way that makes sense to each learner, because at the start we've gone through that assessment, the diagnostic, to understand where they're at. We benchmark that, and then they go through the learning. And whilst they might go through as a cohort, each and every individual is having a different experience because they're working to something relevant to their business and what their business needs, rather than everyone following the same curriculum, following the same knowledge to get the same outputs. And the business coaches really look to help the individual build their leadership skills, develop them personally, so that this combination of personal development and business and professional development increases the likelihood of them succeeding, of them applying that new knowledge and skills to their situation and getting results, and learning from those results, and then connecting them with industry mentors who share their lived experience and insights into their market. It accelerates their progress because they get these insights. They get another boost of confidence because they see others that are slightly ahead of them in their journey. And the online community means that they've got access to ask questions and get those responses to their situations, their examples, which means we can be industry agnostic. And we've got examples, but we can provide real examples that are specific to their business within the online community. So this depository of examples and answers to questions just builds, and that can be searched through by other businesses, and they learn from that as well. So we always combine in every program all of those elements. And so we often get asked to run a workshop, and this is a real challenge for us because we've seen the benefits of a targeted program, and a workshop is just a way of transferring knowledge. In some ways you can acquire a skill in the right conditions, but it's quite hard to do that and ensure everyone has the equal opportunity to acquire that skill, because workshops assume that everyone processes the information at the same speed and learns in the same way. And so workshops aren't the most accessible to everyone. We need a different format of delivery to make those accessible. Now, we do include workshops within our programs, and I really love it when we have the in-person elements as well. We bring communities together, but not for learning necessarily, more for sharing, more for talking, more for connecting, because to learn in those environments isn't fair, isn't equal to all. You need to give everyone equal chance to be able to learn in the way that's best for them. And so that needs to be done in their own time at home or wherever is best for them to learn. And then you come together to help them share and apply and get support. And so that's why we don't preference workshops. Sometimes we might use workshops as an introduction to a topic or to help people connect with 25/8 and what we stand for, but it's not a good tool. It's not a good strategy if it is that you want people to be able to do something, acquire a skill. If you want them to have a meaningful outcome, then you need even if it's a short program that combines certain elements, you need to be able to do that for them to give everyone equal access. Otherwise, only a certain amount of people will benefit from that. And this idea of concepts, not just the content, is really important, because as we have entered a world where we have knowledge at our fingertips, it's not about gaining knowledge. We have knowledge everywhere that we go. There's probably too much knowledge. It's like information overload. To try and highlight what we mean here is, there's an old saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach him to fish and you feed him for life. Well, that kind of highlights, if it is that we're just giving knowledge, we're giving a man a fish and you're going to feed him for the day. Teach him to fish, teach him how to get that knowledge, and you feed them for life. We go one step further than that, and we say teach a person the concept of fishing, in that they're able to feed themselves even if the environmental conditions change. So the concept of fishing is about hunting for food and being able to capture food. Whereas if you teach them to fish, you teach them how to use a fishing rod and fishing line. You're only teaching within that circumstance. What we want to be able to do is teach the context of fishing, such that if the environmental conditions change, as in they don't have a river and they're somewhere else, or in business, you don't have a market, the customer that you used to have isn't there, or a mine closed down, or things, sudden changes, and we've all experienced that in the last 5 years. We want every business owner to be able to make the right decision about what to do next. So if it is that they just had the knowledge to do something, or follow this checklist or this blueprint, or step by step, that doesn't give them the skill then to be able to discern what to do in the future. And that is really important when it comes to business and building skills, because we need to be able to discern, we need to be able to adapt, we need to be able to problem solve. And those are the skills that are important to teach and build in business, because those enable the long-term success, the sustainability of what it is that you're doing. But the other benefits is that people see the connections between ideas and understand the relationship among the different concepts. So it means that you can transfer that knowledge to other situations too. So critical thinking, discernment in the age of AI are very important skills to have. Grasping an underlying principle of a subject means that you're more likely to remember it and apply it in new situations. And so this isn't, if you've ever been to university or college, or in any situation where you might have to go back over the book or things that you learned. I learned that once, but I can't remember it. One of the greatest indicators for an educator is seeing those that have been through your programs being able to teach others to recite what it is that you've taught them, because it's embedded, it's a habit, it's the framework that they use isn't about remembering it. It's a tool that they now have, and they don't have to refer back to a book or what did I do there? Well, I do remember, because they use it, because they're using it. And much like riding a bike, they have the muscle to do that again. And so that is incredibly important. The ability to ask questions and seek out answers drives that motivation, that learning process. And we talked about the growth mindset, and that helps develop their independence from the need to be told what to do. So they're less reliant on support and more self-sufficient to make those decisions, and that confidence to trust in their own decisions. That also adds to their intrinsic motivation to drive forward, to keep going, and not stand still. That part of the education is what excites us as a team, what excites me, given my masters of teaching, and being able to put that into practice and see the results of that. I'd love to see that education-wide to all ages, but for adults through the program, I think this is really important, especially because they're time poor and they don't need to know everything. They just need these tools to be able to make those decisions quickly. The other thing is we combine that with the coaching, which really helps them get the best outcome. So we really ask hard questions to get to the heart of any issue or challenge, not only in the business but personally too. And the psychological principles of personal development, you combine that with first principles thinking, human-centered approach, and you've got a pretty powerful toolbox to help you come up with the best solutions. And for me, there is a distinct difference between a coach and a mentor, and our coaches are trained to get to the heart of your business challenges and have gone through rigorous training in order to do that, to understand the human, understand the business. All of our coaches have business experience, have their own business or have had a business, but also then the training to understand the personal side of things and how that impacts your success within the business, to help you get to the answer yourself. They'll do more asking than telling. And whilst they might know the answer, they lead you, they help you get there, because then you're more likely to remember that journey to getting there and then to be able to do it yourself, and the confidence then and autonomy to action that because you've come up with it yourself. And so that's that our coaches are trained to do that. And this helps you become a better leader, essentially. And whether you're a team of one or a team of 100, developing these skills, developing yourself as a leader helps your brain make links so that you can apply these principles time and again. And so when a challenge presents itself, which it will, as they always do, you can ask yourself similar questions and get to innovative solutions. If you'd been told what to do, more often than not, you'd need to be told again what to do in this new situation. And whilst it might feel harder to do it this way with us and you having to do the thinking, in the long term, it's the most sustainable outcome for you, and it builds the foundations. And as you do more and more thinking, your brain is able to do more and more thinking, so it becomes easy for you to think about this. So whilst the easy option is to be told what to do, is to follow someone's checklist or blueprint, the most sustainable, the best way to work smarter, not harder, is for you to do the thinking. And so that far outweighs the short-term gains you might get, because those long-term benefits not only benefit you and your business, they benefit you personally, individually in your life too. And so we motivate you to be able to do that, and think that thinking begins when you ask really difficult questions. And then to top it all off, we match you with those people that have walked the talk themselves. They might be slightly ahead of you in their business journey. The majority of our industry mentors have actually completed a 25-8 program in the past, or they've been part of a 25-8 program for a number of years, and they get it. They get small business, and they're really passionate about helping you succeed. They've transformed through a 25-8 program and they want to give back themselves, or they're advocates for small business and wanting you to succeed in industries with complexities or with large business. So being able to connect with someone to be able to hear either their lived experience or insight into their market is quite priceless. This will often take you years. And at the very minimum, you'll get access to one session with a 25-8 industry mentor as part of the program that you do with us. We also regularly consult with industry to make sure we bring you the latest developments and insights. So we bring in speakers and subject matter experts that have that insider knowledge that might not have been possible to get unless you were on the inside, but certainly those that are on pulse of what's happening out there. Again, all because they advocate for small business and they value that you've invested in yourself and your business by going through a 25-8 program. And so you get to meet them in a group or a one-on-one session and get that opportunity to ask those questions. And in some cases, you might even get to present your business to prospective customers through a bit of a pitch panel, which is what we do with some of our programs. We are slightly different to what you might experience out there. We probably compare ourselves to a business school, but in a sense that we're not bricks and mortar. Often we'll have partnerships with local communities so that we can operate across Australia, both metro and regionally, to ensure, again, equity of access. And because we get you to do that homework, which means we can make it really accessible for those that might not have been able to afford really quality coaching before. So we're kind of a bit of a mix of a business school or as a business education provider, skill builder, RTO with a coaching service and mentoring service, but we kind of mix it all together and then we're a B Corp. So we're profit for purpose, which means we're really obsessed with getting results for the people we serve. So you're not gurus that say, follow me. Essentially, our customers are our gurus. They're the ones that tell us, that they indicate the success, their international deals, their awards, their expansions, and them living on their own terms. They, for us, are our measurements of success. Our NPS score is world class. We know most people that go through our programs have had a really great experience. Many have transformative experiences, and I consider quite a number of past participants, past learners, as good friends. And as I say, I really enjoy checking in with them. And for me, the difference between a good business and a great business are those that obsess over their customers. And, there's a reason why they exist. There's a reason why they do what they do. There's a reason, they love their craft. They love doing that for other people, or they love making that impact for people. And for us, it's really about giving others the skills, having the equal chance of succeeding, so that, I suppose, selfishly, we have the choice from small business. We've got thriving local communities, and that's really what we want to see and why we exist. And I'd love to hear your purpose stories too, and I'd love to see those being shared more. You think back of why it's important, why this matters to you, what your passion is, what gets you up in the morning to do this continuously, what drives you. Business is hard sometimes, so what drives you to keep going? And what are the numbers that help show whether you're moving closer to what you want to achieve, or to indicate that you're achieving what you'd like to achieve? I'd love for you to share those with me. But I hope you enjoyed our purpose story, the story behind what we do and what drives me. How to develop your own purpose story. Well, you probably have one already. That's why you started out. How do you craft it in a way that someone wants to listen to it? You've just listened to me explain 25/8, why we're here, why we do what we do. And this is in a podcast format, so I went into a lot more detail than I would do if I was developing a message. You want to be succinct. Really identify what is the transformation, I suppose. What's the change or result that you bring because of the existence of your business? You might remember storytelling frameworks like the hero's journey from your time at school. And so we can follow something similar to that, in that you're telling the story of what it is that you're trying to do for people. Your customer here is the hero, and you helping them overcome a challenge and lead them to a happily ever after. And so what we want to do is we want to identify really why we might have started the business because we saw a better way of doing something. It could be that we're really passionate about it. We wanted to see the change because we'd experienced it. Often we do that ourselves, or we saw an opportunity, but through that, we've been able to create meaningful work for people. And so this is highly individual to each and every person that has started business. I often encourage the learners and the business owners that go through our programs to just do a video without really considering the structure of it. Just get it out there. Just tell people why you're doing what you're doing. That's the scariest part. But then over time, you'll be able to refine that to understand what resonates, what the core message is, and what it is that you really stand for, what it is that you're really trying to do for your customers, what that impact is, what that outcome is, and your values, and why should they trust you to do this? And so in developing that, over time, it becomes a great story. You'll tell your story to others as it is now. So I would encourage you to just give it a go. Maybe record a podcast like I have just done now with our purpose story. And really, even if no one listens to the podcast, and I appreciate you've listened to this end, at least the story's out there. You've really made it public about why you're doing what you're doing and what that means for people too. So I look forward to seeing more and more people share their purpose stories, and I look forward to you joining us in the next podcast. Thanks for listening to Make Time, a business podcast by 25/8. If you like the show, please take a moment to write a review and feedback on what you'd like to hear next. If you never want to miss an episode, hit subscribe or follow on your favourite listening channel. If you want to get even smarter, join our newsletter, community, or take one of our programs. Links down below. See you next time.